everyone. My name is Abby. This is Yoga Fitness. It's going to be a 45-minute class. Just grab a mat or a towel or somewhere that you're comfortable to practice on. Definitely recommended to have a block or a blanket to put under for any poses that you feel like you need more support on, but it's also totally optional. You don't need any specific props, but we're going to go ahead and get started here. We're going to get started in a comfortable seated position on the floor. You can sit in half lotus, you can sit in full lotus, whatever works for you. You can sit with your feet together in a butterfly. Just finding a position here where you can feel both sit bones press into the mat. Equal weight on both hips here. Maybe bring that muscle out from underneath of your sit bones. Really grounding yourself through the bottom of your spine, reaching up through the crown of your head, rolling those shoulders up and back, squeezing through those shoulder blades, letting them drop, bring them down and away from your ears. Maybe fluttering the eyes closed for a few moments here. Just taking a second to focus on your body, to check in, to see your breathing. Just starting out by breathing as you normally would. Noticing what parts of your body your breath is going to, how you're breathing, how deep it is, how long it is. And whatever breath you're taking, challenge yourself to hold that breath for 1 extra second. With each breath, challenging to make it a little bit deeper, a little bit longer. Seeing that full lung capacity. And as your body starts to get used to that longer, bigger breath, we're going to start to come into our Yogi Breath, our Ujjayi Breath, inhaling deeply in through the nose, holding it for a second here, and exhaling, allowing that breath to come out through the nose as well. If you've never done an Ujjayi Breath before, maybe start by inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. With each breath, we're feeling that breath come in through the nose, down to the chest, down to the belly, and then coming right back up with each exhale. Taking a second to really enjoy that breath, to get used to it. Let that air, let that breath fill you up. Letting it get to each part of our body. While we're taking those deep breaths here, taking a check-in from your head to your toes, just seeing what parts of your body feel good, what parts of your body might need some love today, what you'd like to work on. Feel free to set an intention for the next 40 minutes, or maybe something you're working on the rest of the day, the rest of the week. Whatever that intention is, remembering it with each breath, each pose, each movement. Taking one final deep breath here with our eyes closed. And fluttering those eyes open, waking up your body if you've lost connection to any part of it. We're going to sit here with our legs crossed. We're going to take some gentle postures to start our practice here. We're going to inhale, reach up. Exhaling, elbow comes into side, palm to the mat, opposite arm reaches up overhead, reaching for the opposite side of the room. Opening up through our obliques, keeping that hip on the mat. Inhaling up. Exhaling, opposite side. Elbow presses into our side here, looking in front of us or looking up at that elbow. Really reaching to extend through that side body. Inhaling up, one more on each side. Exhaling. Inhale to reach. Exhale. Inhaling up. And we're going to exhale, taking it to a crossed forward fold here. Letting that head relax, that neck lengthen. Stretching through that upper body all the way down through our spine to our hips. We're going to slowly roll up, bringing both of our legs out in front of us. We're going to cross one leg over the other. Opposite arm reaches up, elbow to the outside of our knee, back hand tenting those fingertips behind our hips. Inhale, lengthen, reaching up through the crown of the head, and exhale, twisting back. Bring that gaze over our shoulder. Inhaling to reach up, placing that hand back down, switching out those legs here. Inhale, arm reaches up. Exhale, elbow out to the side. Bring those tented fingers back behind our hips. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale. Twisting a little bit deeper here. Feeling that stretch through our back. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bring both legs back out. We're going to transition to a tabletop here, bringing our knees underneath our hips and our wrists underneath of our shoulders. We're going to take some cat-cows here. We're going to inhale, drop that stomach, bring our gaze up, shoulder blades come together. This is our cow pose. Exhale, stomach comes up. Bringing that gaze in between our thighs for our cat. Inhale, stomach drops, gaze lifts. Exhale, wrap through that spine. Inhaling to cat or cow. Exhale into cat. Taking a couple of these at your own pace, your own breath. Maybe taking some C curves here, trying to draw our shoulder into our spine or into our hips. Stretching out that side body. One more round of breath here. Meeting back in that tabletop. Bring one hand right underneath our chest. Opposite arm reaches up, reaching for that ceiling. Exhale, threading that arm underneath our chest. Coming to our thread the needle here. Really feeling that stretch in that upper back. You can bring the opposite arm out in front of you. Pressing back through that hand. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, tabletop. Bring that opposite arm, hand right underneath of our chest. Arm reaches up. Exhaling, thread that arm underneath our chest. Stretching up that upper back, stretching up that shoulder. Trying to bring that chest parallel to the mat. Keeping those hips up and level. Palm comes back to the mat. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, coming back down. From here in our tabletop position, we're going to bring one leg out to the side. Toes are pointed forward. We're going to take that same arm. We're going to reach it up, opening towards the side of the room, feeling a gentle stretch on those hamstrings. We're going to slowly press up on that hand, coming up. Arms are parallel to the mat here. Feeling a gentle tug on that inner thigh. We're gonna bring that hand either to our thigh or to our calf. Opposite arm reaches up, stretching through that side body. Making sure we're not collapsing through our ribs here. We're leaving a nice open space. Inhaling to reach up. Exhale, coming back into that tabletop, taking this on the opposite side here. Toes come out, facing the same direction as our hands. And we're gonna lift that same arm up, reaching through, stretching out here, feeling that tug on our hamstring. Pressing through that bottom arm, bringing it up. Arms are parallel to our mat here. Engaging through that core, strong shoulders. Bring that hand to our thigh or our calf. Opposite arm comes over. We're really opening through that side body, not letting it crunch in. Feeling that length from our knee all the way through our hands. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling down, back into that tabletop here. We're gonna inhale, walking our hands out in front of us, coming into a kneeling plank. We're gonna curl our toes, sending those hips up and back, bringing that chest to our thigh for our puppy pose. Inhale, plank, engage that core. Exhale, sink it back. Inhale into that kneeling plank. We're going to go ahead and lift one knee off the ground and then the other. Exhale, sink it back, downward facing dog. Maybe walk your feet a little closer to your hands if you need to. Reaching those heels for the mat. Maybe walk them out a little wider if that's more comfortable for your hamstrings. Walking out that dog here, bend one knee and then the other. The whole time we're trying to bring our stomach into our chest, into our thighs. We're gonna inhale, rolling that spine into a plank. Exhale, sink it back, heart into thighs. One more inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Bring that gaze between our hands, slowly walking our feet to meet our hands. Forward fold, giving a generous bend in those knees, allowing that stomach to press into our thighs. Maybe grabbing opposite arms, swaying from side to side in a ragdoll position. Taking one big inhale. Exhale, release those hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice flat back here, where our gaze is right in front of our mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swan dive up, arms reach up. Full body stretch here. Exhale, swan dive forward, back into that forward fold. We're gonna bring our palms firmly into the mat, one foot between our hands. We're gonna step that back foot into a runner's lunge, knee on top of ankle, drop that back knee, uncurl those toes. Taking a second to make sure that knee is on top of our ankle, not going in front of our toes. Bring equal weight on that back knee and the front heel. Finding grounding in all four corners of that front foot. We're going to slowly inhale, coming to bring those hands to our thigh. Once you've found that balance, inhale, arms reach up, thumbs towards the back of the room. We're going to bring our hand back to the hamstring of the leg that we're stretching. Opposite arm comes up and over. Taking a slight twist here. Mini back bend. Inhale, reaching it back up. Exhale to frame that foot. We're going to engage that back leg here. Step it back, downward facing dog. Taking a couple seconds to walk out that dog here. Bring that gaze in between our hands. Stepping or quietly hopping our feet to meet our hands. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swan dive up, arms reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward. We're going to bring the palms of our hands to our mat. Foot comes in between. Opposite foot goes back. Drop that knee, uncurl those toes. Take a second. Reposition that foot, knee on top of ankle. All four corners of our foot press equally into the mat. Bringing our hips squared forward, trying to draw that back hip up. Inhaling, palms come to knee. Taking a second to really breathe into that spot. We're stretching into that hip flexor. One more breath. Arms come up. Thumbs are towards the back of the room. Inhale to reach up, or bring that hand to our hamstring. Opposite arm comes up and over. Feeling a deeper stretch through that hip flexor. Feel free to just keep it at that first stretch. Inhaling up. Exhale, frame that foot. Engage that back leg. Step it back. Downward facing dog. We're going to take our first vinyasa flow here. Inhaling, rounding through that spine into our plank. First, we're going to drop our knees, uncurl those toes, engage that core. Exhale, chaturanga down, keeping those elbows scraping by our side. We're going to bring those elbows back away from our ears. Slowly lift up our chest. Baby cobra. Feel free to press up a little bit more. Working our way into a full cobra. And also press all the way up. Bring that head back. Whichever one is most comfortable for you. Bringing it back down, engaging that back leg, pressing it back up, taking it into that downward facing dog. We're going to take two more here. I'm going to go through another option. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga down. Inhale into that cobra. Making your way back into our downward facing dog. Taking one more, your own pace, your own breath. This is an optional chaturanga vinyasa flow. Maybe bring your gaze over one shoulder, then the other. And whenever you're ready, we're going to meet in a child's pose here. Hips come back onto our heels. Chest presses into thigh. Shoulders relax. Forehead comes down to the mat. Arms reach out in front of us, stretching the shoulders. We're going to inhale, reaching our fingertips out in front of us as far as possible. We're going to exhale, walk those fingertips to one side of the mat, keeping the rest of our body where it is. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the opposite side. Inhale, bring it back to center here. Whenever you're ready, making your way back into your downward facing dog. Maybe taking it to a tabletop first, curling those toes, and then bringing it up and back. From here, we're going to take it to a three-legged dog. Bring one leg up, That right leg comes up. Still, hips are squared towards the mat. Exhale, bring that knee to your nose. Dropping that heel in between our hands. Finding that balance, equal weight between both feet. Inhale up, high crescent lunge here. Shoulders are down, away from our ears. Feeling that stability, feeling that balance. As we exhale, we're going to go to the opposite side here. Opposite from the inside of our leg. One deep breath. And as we exhale, we're going to twist out, turning those back toes to the front, bringing our palms facing the mat. Gaze over those right fingertips. This is our warrior two here. Maybe walking that front foot out a little bit further so you can bend down. Inhale, straightening up here, giving that front quad a break. Exhale, sink it down. Knee is on top of ankle, not going in front of our toes. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it down. Trying to keep those shoulders right on top of our hips here. We're going to bring that right elbow to our right thigh. Left arm reaches over. Lengthening from the outside of that back foot through our fingertips. Inhaling up into that warrior two. Bring that palm to our back hamstring. Arm reaches back. Reverse warrior. Inhaling. Exhale. Side angle. Inhaling back to warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Inhaling back into that warrior two here. We're going to straighten that front leg. We're going to turn all 10 toes so that they're pointing to the corners of our mat here. Bringing those arms back out in front of us. Baby bend in those knees. We're going to inhale, reaching up. As we exhale, we're bringing our arms into our cactus arms, 9-degree angle, and bending at those knees. Weight is in our heels. This is our goddess pose. We're going to inhale up, reaching up. And this time we're going to exhale, bending at the hips, sweeping the floor. Inhale up. Exhale into that goddess. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend at the waist, sweep the floor. Inhale up. Exhale, goddess. One more. Reaching up here. Feeling our heart rate increase from these flows. And as we exhale, we're going to hold goddess here just for a couple of moments. Maybe you would like to bring your hands down to your thighs, making sure we're nice and gentle, keeping that chest and our shoulders nice and lifted. You can bring your arms out to the side, keep them in that 9-degree angle, sway from side to side. Maybe try lifting up one heel, place it back down, lifting up the other heel. Maybe you want to challenge yourself, try both heels. Up to you. One more breath here. Inhale, reaching up. And as we exhale, we're going to take a nice deep forward fold here. Trying to stay nice and long through that back, through that spine, making sure that we're not hyperextending those knees here. Check to make sure they have a little baby bend. Maybe you want to walk your feet out a little bit further. Feel that stretch in our adductors, the inner part of our leg. Maybe you can come down onto your elbows. Maybe you want to block in front of you. Up to you. As we exhale, we're going to walk our hands over to one foot, stretching out that hamstring, that adductor. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the opposite side. Inhaling back to center here. On our next inhale, we're going to take it to a half lift here, maybe taking the fingertips to our mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swan dive up, arms reach up. And as we exhale, we're bringing those arms back into our warrior two. Holding this for just a few seconds here. From here, we're going to windmill our arms down to frame that foot. Coming back into that runner's lunge, stepping it back, downward facing dog. Bringing our gaze in between our hands, stepping or hopping our feet up to meet our hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Hinging from those hips, arms sweep up. Bringing our weight into our heels, sitting it back into that chair. Bringing our weight into our heels here, sitting back. Bringing our hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Pressing our palms into the mat, stepping our feet back into our downward facing dog. We're going to take our flow on the other side. Inhaling, left foot sweeps up, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping that foot in between our hands into our runner's lunge. Inhaling up into our high crescent lunge. Bringing our shoulders right on top of our hips, equal weight on both of our feet. Exhale, turning away from that open side. Inhale. Exhale to open up here, turning all of those toes towards the front of your mat. Palms come down. Bring those shoulders down and away from our ears. Inhale, reaching up. Straightening that front leg. Exhale, sinking it down. Inhale, up. Exhale, sinking. Elbow comes to thigh, right arm comes up and over our head, reaching through those fingertips. Inhaling back. Exhaling, palm comes to hamstring. Reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, take it back to that reverse warrior here. Inhale, back to center. We're going to straighten that front leg. We're going to go ahead, turn all 10 toes towards the corner of the mat, just like our goddess here. We're going to go ahead and heel toe our feet just a little bit closer together so they're just outside of our hips. We're going to inhale, reach up. Bring those hands to heart center. Weight is in our heels. And we're going to slowly lower down, bending at those knees, bringing our hips in between those heels. into our yogi squat. So we're pressing those knees back with our elbows here. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can put a blanket, a pillow, a block, some books underneath your hips to elevate them a little bit more, making sure we're not letting those heels come off the mat. Feel free to stay here, or you can take a bit more of a twist. Bring that right arm behind our right knee. Left arm comes behind your back, reaching for those fingertips. It's okay if you don't quite get there. Opening through that chest. Inhaling, coming back to center. Taking this on the other side. Left arm comes behind that knee. Right arm comes behind our back. Opening through that chest, squeezing shoulder blades together. And inhaling, coming back to center. Holding this for just a couple more breaths. Planting those hands onto the mat, lifting those hips up. Taking a forward fold here. You can keep your legs where they are. You can take them wider. You can take them closer together. Wherever you are, we're going to go ahead and heel toe our feet out so they're back to that wide leg forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, swan dive up, arms reach up. Turn those front toes. Exhale down into that warrior two. Gazes over those fingertips. I think I definitely went backwards. You should have gone over your left foot. And exhale, cartwheeling our hands down into that runner's lunge. Step it back, downward facing dog. Gaze comes in between our hands, stepping or hopping our feet to meet our hands. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swan dive up, arms reach up. Exhale, chair pose. Weight is in our heels. We can wiggle our toes. Engaging that core, flat back, straight through the crown of the head. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive forward into that forward fold. Stepping those feet back, high plank. 2 optional vinyasas here. Whenever you're ready, we're going to go ahead and meet into our downward facing dog. Bringing our gaze to meet our hands, stepping or hopping to meet our hands. We're going to slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time, bringing our head up last. We're going to go ahead and take it to a balance pose here. We're going to start by just engaging on one leg, starting on my left, making sure that our knee is bent, all 4 corners of our foot put into the mat. We're going to start level 1 here, just grabbing on to that foot, making sure we're not pulling on that ankle, finding that balance here, engaging that core, finding a spot to focus on. If you find yourself wobbling, that's okay. It means you're getting better. If you want to take it up, go ahead and bring that foot so it's out in front of you, thighs parallel to the mat, flexed foot. You bring your arms out. Feel free to stay here, or you can bring your 2 fingers to the outside of that big toe. You can bring it out in front of you. If you want to stay there, totally fine. You want to take the full expression, bringing it out to our standing big toe, up to you. My balance is feeling wonky today, so I'm gonna keep it right here. Arms are out to give myself a little bit more challenge. Feel free to close your eyes, shift that gaze. Holding it for a couple more moments here. And exhale, go ahead and release, shake it out. We're gonna take this on the other side. All four corners of our foot into the mat. Starting by holding on to the top of that foot. Find that balance. This is easy for you. Take it up here. This is easy for you. Take it out or take it to the side in our standing big foot. Just remembering that one side might be a little bit easier for the other. My left side is more flexible, so it's easier for me to balance on my right and bring my left out, but your body is different. Your body is unique. Recognizing the differences. Not forgetting our Yogi breath, our Ujjayi breath here. And exhale, go ahead, shake it out. We roll out those ankles. We're gonna take it back down to the mat here, inhaling to reach. Exhale, forward fold. Take a second here, walk out that fold. Feel those hamstrings stretch. Pressing those palms into the mat, stepping it back, downward dog. Bring it down into a tabletop. And then bring those hips onto our heels. Swing out in front of us. We're gonna take it to a head to knee. So we're gonna bring one leg out, opposite leg, foot comes into our inner thigh. We're gonna square those shoulders with our hips towards that foot. Inhale up. We're gonna exhale, see how far we can go, still keeping that spine nice and straight, nice and long. Once you reach that point, drop those hands, bringing that head down to our knee here, making sure we're not letting the knee come too far off the mat, just a couple of inches of space maybe between your knee and the floor. Stretching out that hamstring. Making sure we still have those shoulders turned towards that foot. Taking a couple more breaths here. Inhale, rolling back up, switching out those legs. Squaring those shoulders towards that foot. Inhale up. Exhale, find that point and let it go. It's okay if you're not reaching that foot or those toes, as long as you're feeling that stretch in your hamstring, flexing that foot. That sort of uncomfortable tug on your hamstring, that's your body stretching, getting better, growing in your practice. Rolling back up. Bringing both feet out here. Inhaling up. Exhaling out into that seated forward fold. Try to keep that long neutral spine as much as possible before you collapse through those shoulders, that head. And we're going to slowly roll up. And go ahead and take some postures lying down on our back. Rolling down, keeping those knees bent, We're going to bring one ankle across our thigh here, making sure it's not on top of our knee, it's down on top of our muscle. Bringing our fingers behind our hamstring, underneath our knee, pulling that knee in close into our chest, stretching out the glute and the abductor, the outer part of our hip on that bent leg that's crossed. Trying to press those shoulders down into the mat. If you want a hamstring stretch, you can bring that leg up, flexing that foot. You feel free to just stay here, stretching out that glute. We're going to bring that foot down to the mat. We're going to bring our left hand to our foot, right hand into our knee. And we're going to cradle our foot across our body, feeling that mobility. And bring that foot back down, crossing our left over our right, interlacing our fingers underneath that hamstring, letting that knee fall on top of it, pressing that ankle towards our chest. Keeping those shoulders pressed into the mat while still bringing that knee close, stretching out that glute, that hip. You want more of a hamstring stretch, reaching it up to the ceiling. And bringing that leg back down, holding on to that knee and the outside of that foot, cradling that leg to either side, allowing for that mobility to increase, guiding that leg through at the hip. And bringing it back down here. We're going to bring both our left leg out, right knee comes up, holding on to it with that left palm. Bring that right knee over to the left side of the mat, right knee stacks on top of the left. Bring our gaze over that right hand. If you want more of a hip flexor stretch or a quad stretch, grabbing that back foot with that right hand. Letting go of that foot if you have it. Inhaling right knee into chest. Exhale, let it out long. Inhale, left knee comes in. Exhale across our body. Bring that gaze over our left fingertips. Both shoulders are pressed into the mat. You can also put a blanket or a pillow or something underneath your left knee to help elevate it a little more if it's not quite there. Option to grab the top of that foot, stretch out that quad. And exhale, letting go. Inhaling, knee comes into chest. And exhaling, letting that leg go out long. Finding a position here that feels comfortable for you. Maybe it's with your legs out long. Maybe you want to bend at your knees. Maybe you want to do supine butterfly with your feet together. Whatever's comfortable for you. Your hands, the option to bring one to your chest and one to your stomach. Or bring them out by your side, whatever feels best for you. fluttering those eyes closed. Coming back to that breath if you've lost it. Taking a couple of moments just to be still. As thoughts enter your mind, acknowledge them and their importance, and then allow them to move on, knowing that you'll be able to attend to them with a clear mind and a full heart at the end of your practice. Coming back to the intention that you set, reflecting on it, and how well you were able to utilize it during your practice today. Take one breath to draw that intention in, and exhale, clearing it from your mind, focusing only on your breathing, on the sensations you feel throughout your body. If you have more time for Shavasana, I highly recommend that you take a few moments on your own. Slowly fluttering the eyes back open. And slowly coming into a seated position here. However is comfortable for you. Maybe it's how you started the class. Maybe it's something different. We're going to take one last breath together. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bringing those palms to our forehead for kind thoughts, our mouth for kind words, and our hearts for good intentions. Namaste means the light and love in me honors and respects the light and love in each and every one of you. Feel free to say it back to me as I say it to you. Namaste. My name is Abby. This was Yoga Fitness. I hope you enjoyed it. Take a few extra moments to do Shavasana if that's something that you can do, and have a wonderful rest of your day.